Thoughts on identifying as a femboy and doing hormones? You feel like it isn't taken seriously or it's belittled? I don't... How would I word this? I have absolutely no issue with it. Outside of... there's a couple issues I have with it, but not too many. And they're not big issues or anything. So, I think it gets really complicated, actually. Like, extraordinarily complicated. Once you start to think about... when you get into the... fuck. I have complex thoughts on it. I'm sorry. I know quite a few people who are non-binary detransitioners, okay? I say detransitioners in quotations, okay? I actually know a couple, like quite a more than I, anticipated, I guess, in my life. But I know quite a few. And for many of them, they were presenting, they were trans women. That's how they were presenting as trans women. And at a certain point, they essentially decided that they did not think that they could essentially be like women. That was like the thing. So they felt like defeated, I guess, by their transition. Like it was not possible for them to be a woman. And so they detransitioned. However, only in the sense of their identity changed, and they decided to no longer identify as a woman, but they didn't stop taking hormones. They got FFS. They had laser. They got FFS. They didn't stop hormones. They just changed how they identified. And the thought process when I spoke to one of them, a friend, was that dressing, like wearing clothes and stuff in private at home, just like dressing however they want at home. And when they go out, they would put a binder over they put a binder on their boobs, and they just wear like random ass baggy clothes and stuff to go out. And they don't they literally don't care how they get gendered when they go out. They're not trying to get gendered a certain way, basically. And living like that and taking hormones and those things that was enough for them to alleviate their dysphoria. That was enough for them to alleviate dysphoria. And they didn't need trying to fit into the category of women when they didn't feel like they were able to actually fit into it. They didn't think they could do it. Was more distressing to them than just, doing their own thing. They find their own way to be happy in their body. When I think about HRT femboys, essentially, my only concern here specifically is I don't like it if they don't have dysphoria, because I don't like hormones being used as I don't like the idea of it being used as a cosmetic thing, I guess, is how I feel. I don't like that idea as a cosmetic thing, because I don't want wait lists for people that actually need it for medical reasons to be higher. I don't want wait lists for people that need treatment to be higher. What if it gives them euphoria? Well, I guess what I mean to say is if they're just taking it so that their skin is nicer, and if they're just taking it so they have nicer skin and to stop balding from occurring, I don't like that, because in an ideal world I don't have an issue with that. In the world where there is scarcity of things, I don't like using a medical treatment where people are on wait lists for long amounts of time to get your skin nicer and your hair to not recess as much. That's the only issue I have with it. And it's not a huge issue to me. It's not I'm not anti it for any other reason. So I just don't like the idea of it being a cosmetic only thing. My guess would be, and that's why I guess I brought up the friend who was who was like a non-binary detransition. I just want to say that in quotes. But the reason I kind of brought them up is I suspect for quite a few of these people, they do have dysphoria, but they don't, like, they do have dysphoria, but they don't have the desire to actually try to integrate into society as a woman, if that makes sense. That would be my guess. That would be my best guess. But I don't know. I think that is internalized transphobia. I don't know if it is internalized transphobia. Some people just truthfully, like, probably don't. I don't know. There's no way to. I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know. But some people just don't want to go through the process of, like, switching their. I don't know. Maybe people. It's just however they identify. Maybe they just still identify as, like, a guy, but, like, they have dysphoria, or maybe they, you know, I don't know exactly I guess it's a case by case basis. Transgenders, as much as that word suck. I don't know if that's the same thing as, like, a HRT femboy. I think a HRT femboy is very specific. I don't think that's a transgender or anything. I always assumed the transgender, like, insult was specifically for people who are, like, in. I don't know how the insult works. My assumption, transgender. Let me just Google it. What is the insult? Maybe they're just trying to avoid twink death? Possibly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It could be a cosmetic thing. And that's just my, transgender has almost always been used to demonize non-binary people and has true scum energy. I do think so as well. Utiki, but your sense of idea is definitely more non-binary. I think I've talked about this before. I also feel the same way, in the sense of, when I think about myself internally, I don't think it's as clear cut that I'm, like, obviously trans, like, I'm, like, obviously a trans woman internally, like, I'm a woman internally. I don't think it's that clear cut in my own brain. However, my thought process on the matter is, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but this is the pathway that I take for my own brain. But the way that I think of it in terms of my, like, internal identity is as simple as, internally, I may not think that I'm 100% like a woman. I might be a little cloudy. I might be somewhere in between. I might be somewhere in the middle somewhere. You know, if there's, like, a list here, and this is, like, guy and this is girl, I might be, like, here maybe. That might be how I think of myself internally as of this moment. However, the way that I think about it is that the way to get from, we have this thing, and here to here, let me do paint. I love paint streams. Sorry, I love paint streams so much. Okay, let's do the classic colors. Okay, let's do blue and pink. Okay, we love blue and pink. Okay, and let's do a purple color here for the bridge between the two. Okay, and let's say this is the scale. Okay, and we'll just do a big M. Okay, and we'll just do a big we'll do a big F here. We'll be very, you know, and this is the whole, it's not this simple, obviously, okay? But let's say I'm, right now, where I see myself is, like, here, okay? This is where I see myself right now, okay? This is where I see myself. And in my brain, I'm like, this is, now I'm, you know, or maybe it's better to do this distribution or whatever, right? Let's do, like, what's this? Let's do, let's do this distribution, okay? Let's do this distribution, okay? And let's make this, like, purple here, okay? And let's make this purple, like, along here, okay? Let's do this distribution, okay? Let's do this one. Let's do the M over here and the F over here, okay? And let's say, for me right now, I see myself like here, okay? Or maybe even, like, here, okay? And we're kind of in, like, androgyny limbo in terms of gender identity or something, you know, internally. This is all internal, of course, right? This This is the like internal identity, right? We're kind of somewhere like, sometimes I sit with my friends, you know, and I sit with like my friend who is like a cis woman, and I notice how she interacts with certain things. And in my brain, the way that I think about that, I'm an overthinker, right? I have anxiety, but I think about it as like, she interacts this way because of her like life experience and lived experience. And the reason that I don't have that same reaction is because I don't have that. And that's why I react differently. And that's how I think about it, right? But sometimes those instances can like kind of mess with my brain a little bit. So like something that happened with my friends, I remember we were watching a show, or we were watching like YouTube videos together. And there was a joke made making fun of someone, basically. It was making fun of, I forget exactly, but it was making fun of someone, and it was like I was making fun of a woman, okay? And they had like a really bizarre insult. I laughed, okay? But what happened was they made fun of this woman, and I laughed, and my guy friend also laughed, and my girlfriend didn't laugh. And when that occurred, in my brain, I went into like overthinker analysis mode, and I started to think to myself, okay, she didn't find that joke funny. Why didn't she find that joke funny? Why did she not find that joke funny? And stuff like that. And then later that night I asked her about it, like why she didn't find it funny. And when she was talking about it, she was talking about like her lived life experience of why she didn't find it funny. And I was like, oh, okay. So that downloaded in my brain a little bit, if that makes sense. But in that moment, when that instance occurred, I was like, yes, you know. In those moments, I wonder, like, am I more maybe somewhere like in between the two and stuff? The simple solution that I had in my brain is a very simple solution. The simple solution that I had in my brain was that the easiest way for me to see myself internally, to make my internal identity align with what I want it to be, is that what I need to do is I basically created my things, right? Live as a woman, be seen by others as a woman, be treated by others as a woman, and develop life experiences as a woman. And if I get all of those things, as well as like adjust my body to be in line with what I see as a woman as well, of course, right? But if I get those things, if I live as a woman, if I'm seen as a woman, if people treat me as a woman, if that's how I walk the world, then in my mind, I am. I am. Is my identity defined by how others see you? No, my identity is defined. Well, maybe yes. Okay, actually, let me say yes instead of no. And then instead of saying no but caveating, I'll say yes but caveat then. So yes, it is. However, I don't exactly have a problem with it like that. I don't have a huge issue with that. It doesn't like upset me or anything. I wouldn't want to live in a world where I see myself one way and nobody else will see me that way. That sounds like fucked up. And that sounds like that would kill me in my brain. Like that would destroy my brain. You know? I like to live in a world where my inner identity and my outer identity align. You know?